Again, we're on Fish Eater Friday, November 22nd, 2013. And I'd like to thank you all for your good questions, because you've come up with good ones. And here it is. I have a possible Fish Eater Friday question. Do you permit of Eastern Catholics holding on to the liturgy of St. Basil and St. John Chrysostom? As Pope, would you ever celebrate either one of these liturgies, as they are certainly valid and unaffected by the Novus Ordo? Would you permit Catholics to stay true to the Eastern Catholic churches and not Tridentine? I have been enjoying Fish Eater Fridays. It gives me something to look forward to. God bless. Matt. Well, thank you, Matt. That is a very good question. Of course, the Church has always encouraged the Eastern rites. Personally, I read all of the encyclicals on the subject because I wanted to be firm. What did my predecessors do in the matters of, especially when they were trying to reunite East and West? I mean, this effort's been going on for almost a millennium, with some successes and some failures. So I want to know, what is the Church's attitude? And the Church's attitude is quite consistent on this. They want to preserve these valid liturgies of St. Basil and St. John Chrysostom as they come to us from the time of St. Basil and St. John Chrysostom. In fact, I remember reading, don't believe it was in an encyclical but elsewhere, that these liturgies have remained unchanged longer than the Tridentine Mass. Okay? The Tridentine Mass dates to like the 1400s. I mean, there were very minor things might have been changed in the 1400s. Of course, the canon goes clear back to St. Gregory the Great. So these are beautiful liturgies, and not only do I want them preserved if at all possible, I would love to assist at a beautiful Mass celebrated in Christ Church in union with the true Pope of St. Basil and of St. John Chrysostom. I've seen a picture of Pope Pius XII assisting at a liturgy, Eastern Rite. It did not specify which liturgy. Celebrated, I believe, in the Sistine Chapel. He assisted in his cope and his mitre, Western Rite, because the Pope is Patriarch of the West. Now, in preserving these liturgies, in reuniting the East and the West, any group that would want to come in, the solution is simple. The prayers for the Pope of the Eastern liturgy, St. Basil, St. John Chrysostom, must be restored to their rightful place where they once held. That is the only thing that must be done for a reunion. Now, true, if a group has removed filioque, it must be at least accepted. All the doctrines of faith must be accepted. And so let us return to the liturgies. So not only would I permit these, I desire that they be saved. If any group that uses the St. Basil or St. John Chrysostom liturgy would love to come into union with the Church, let's begin negotiations. Now let's go to the other question. As Pope, would you ever celebrate either one of these liturgies, as they are certainly valid and unaffected by the Novus Ordo? To that I'm going to answer most likely not. Not that they aren't beautiful liturgies, but to celebrate a liturgy properly requires training. I would have to learn how to speak in the language that the liturgy is in. I know St. Cyril Methodius took the liturgy into what's called, I think, Old Slavonic. Because St. Cyril Methodius, my mom and I believe, converted our ancestors on that side of the family that came from Moravia, because that's where they went. It's now in the Czech Republic. That's where they went, that's where they preached. So I kind of wonder if, let's see, my great-grandparents who came over around age 12, both of them, and then their parents who came over at the same time, the whole family came, to Salina, Kansas. I kind of wonder if they did not come from an Eastern Rite church and end up in a Western Rite church over here. There's nothing in their family history to tell me. There is one person I could ask who might know, and because he's done a lot of research. But in any case, I kind of wonder how far away from the Eastern liturgies my own family is. But no, I don't believe at this age that I could learn how to celebrate these liturgies properly. I would love to assist as a bishop assists at a Mass solemnly, as Pope saw in the picture of Pope Pius XII. But as for being able to celebrate these liturgies properly, I don't think that I could be capable of doing that. That would be the obstacle I would see to me celebrating these liturgies. But no, let us preserve the heritage of our church. And the Eastern rites are a large part of the heritage of our church. Let us return to the liturgies that we know are true. In the Western Rite, we have the Latin Tridentine Mass, given to us from the Council of Trent, and Pope Pius V said, "This is the Mass for the Western Rite. Let's keep it unchanged." But read Quo Primum. Quo Primum says, any Mass, any rite that has at least 200 years as of 1570, so from 1370 or before, may be retained. That St. John Chrysostom, St. Basil fall in there. I remember doing some research on this in the early 1980s, and every one of the rites came to Rome and said, do for us what you did for the Latin Tridentine Mass and Quo Primum. Let us get it set in stone and straight. Every one of them did. So let us preserve these holy liturgies.